April 29th, 2014. A couple of things we need to pay attention to. One was that coronal mass ejection and the side effects from this one. This one started yesterday and came out through quite a chunk of plasma off the surface of the sun. See that? Just that chunk is larger than the planet Earth. But we're going to get the side effects of that as that coronal mass ejection spreads out 180. We'll see, and already are starting to see in the ACE satellites, the effect of this burst. Now, the one that I'm going to show you is the latest one. It's in the top left. A filament is going to rise there. These are the latest images today. Comes up. Notice it's attached at the bottom. That's going to cause it to, as just like a whip, throw this filament towards Earth. Watch it go all the way through. It's going to rise. There. Notice the release point and the hold point. Now you can already see on the electron flux, it's saturated that. As we saw that coronal mass ejection. That's today. Look at the sunspots now. 2049 is beta gamma, and it has increased the chance of flares. It's double the chance of small flares, 15% chance on your M flares, not an increase in the X, but that could change quickly because the size of 2049 is growing. 2047 you see there has increased the chances also, but 2049 seems to be the one to watch after we've had a semi-quiet week. Also, they found a new asteroid 2 days ago. It's the close approach will be May the 3rd. That's this coming Saturday. I'll back it up to today's date, the 30th, as you see that. Again, 2 days, and they've did, I think, 20-something data arc spans on this thing. I'll show you the information. We pull it up and pull it around. But notice it has a close orbit to the inner solar system. Just goes outside of Mars orbit and then comes back in. But again, it's brand new. They just discovered it. We're going through a couple meteor showers. I'm going to point that out. And it's not long before we're going to be entering linears. But let's look at this. Again, data arc span, they found it's 2 days. First observations was the 28th. That's 2 days ago. Condition code 6. You guys know that have watched these, but if you haven't, the code goes from 0 to 9. 0 is very good, 9 being highly uncertain. That's where this thing is traveling, how close their guesstimate is. But they're saying about 0.8 LD, less than 1 lunar distance. But again, there's your 6 code. The meteor showers, we're dealing with the ETA Aquarius. They're a strong shower when viewed from the southern tropics. From the equator north, they usually only produce medium rates of 10 to 30 per hour just before dawn. Activity is good for a week centered the night of maximum activity. These are swift meteors that produce a high percentage of persistent trains but few fireballs. But this is not really the one I think we should be concerned about. Although we are seeing fireballs every night. We're over 1,000 for this part. I mean, this first quarter of the year. But linear 209, this is the one we got to watch. That's going to be the radiant. Notice off the North Star Polaris and your Big Dipper up to the left. That is where we're going to be seeing this. Remember, May 23rd through May 25th. But notice during the 24th, as we watch Earth coming across on the gold line for about 4 hours, it looks like we're going to have the heaviest debris. Now, they've got it marked at 7:40 UTC time. On the East Coast, that's going to be just after midnight, but any time after dark on the 23rd, like they said. Now, this report is saying the potential shower radiant is up all night in mid-northern latitudes. Nights are short in late May, so start watching as soon as it gets dark on Friday evening, May 23rd, and continue to morning twilight on Saturday morning, May 24th. Predicted timing is great for western North America, with highest rates just after midnight, but it could be off a bit. It goes on to say, we do know that the model suggests the Earth will cross several debris trails from Comet 209P Linear on May 24, 2014. Judging by what we think we know of the comet's orbit, we have at least a rough idea of the timing. We just don't know how much debris we will encounter. This could be anything from a total no-show to a marginally detectable shower to a major outburst to a storm. If there is a shower, how long will the peak last? Just don't know. Look up. It continues. It says, since this is a previously unknown shower, it doesn't have a real name as far as I can tell. The radiant is in a blank area of the sky, in a corner of the dim constellation Camelopardalis, and about 10 degrees from Polaris. The best way I can describe the radiant location is that it's about a third of the way from Polaris to the star Omicron Ursa Majoris, the Great Bear's Nose, if you consider the Big Dipper that constellation's hindquarters and tails. Note the shower meteors will appear in all parts of the sky. Their paths can be just be traced backwards to the radiant. And it goes on, it says, they haven't seen the estimates of the velocity of the meters, but imagine they will be slow. It says this paper, and they talk about the Yi and Weigert 2013, is lukewarm about rates, but suggests that the debris may be relatively large and cause bright meteors. They're going to talk about, you can get more information in Sky and Telescope article. But what we do know, and I want to show you some of these charts, is that it's unlike any of the other ones that we've seen. This is a radiant as it goes out and around just outside of Mars, comes back in. But this particular year is unique. It has been a unique year for a lot of events. Just as in Florida yesterday after the video, we talked about the possible flooding. 24 inches in Pensacola, they're underwater. That's a lot of rain. It broke all records. This report says the estimate of level of the shower is based on photometric measurements of the comet. Very few data is currently available from October. It should say 2013 is when the report come out. It says so far, given the observations, we estimate from 100 to 400 per hour, which is an excellent outburst, but this shower can become an exceptional one. Indeed, given the current orbit of the comet, that all the trails ejected between 1803 and 1924 do fall in the Earth's path in May 2014. As a consequence, this shower may as well be a storm. They don't know how large it is, but this map will give you an indication of where will be the times to see it. You can see it's daylight over Africa, it's dark over North America, and then you see the line that goes kind of through the middle in waves. Now that's your daylight timing, but the smaller line here is the path of linear. Now, the thing about linear, guys, it's not just that we're going through all of its debris trails for all those years, but it's the close approach of the comet itself called the parent object. It's the closest that a comet has ever come in recorded history to the planet Earth. Now, we know some have broken apart and struck the Earth back with Comet 1490 YP that wiped out the Chinese fleet. We know that. But this is the closest approach. The comet is not supposed to hit Earth. But we're going to enter through this debris field. This is one of the other charts. It matches the first one from May 23rd through the 25th with the thickest debris for about 4 or 5 hours there on the 24th. Again, that's going to be just after midnight on the East Coast, but from the 23rd up, watch it. Now look at the difference in these charts. On the left is 2012 when we went through Linear's debris field. Nothing happened much in 2013. Now look at the Ursids. 2012, not much going to happen this year. You can see these are just very slight. Any of these could cause a big fireball. 2014 Leonids, right there. Not a lot of action, but again, any fireball could be just like another Cherub Lynx event. Look at the Draconids. Notice we're going in October 2014. That's going to be the thickest point for them. But just keep in mind the size of these graphs. This is the Perseids. It looks a little different because of the angle the Earth passes through, Earth being on the zero line in the center. Now, the puppets, you can see this year we will be going into the thickest part of the puppets, and it looks like one of the heaviest debris fields other than Linear that we'll see. But look at Linear's again. On the left, 2012. On the right is now. Now, they're marked off in 2-month increments. It goes February, then you go to April 2014 that we're just coming out of, May 2014. We're right in this entire debris field. But look at the difference in the charts. That is why I have emphasized keeping a very close eye on this thing. But it's a heads up, guys. We're going to keep everything updated. We're going to watch for the impacts of the CME on our quakes. They've been relatively quiet. We've had a lot of 5s today. Heads up, be safe.